Welcome, everybody, to the Ibug Android Insight call. Today is Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. This call is all about Android. So, we have an open forum here where we talk about whether you have a smartphone, Alexa device, Google device, tablets, everything that is revolved around the Android platform. We are an open community with an open forum where we are here to help each other answer questions, check out new apps, and to just support one another. My name is Ava Harshid. I am one of your Zoom hosts here, and my co-host is Hershey.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Hershey. Welcome, everyone.
Yes, and just to do a little bit of housekeeping right now, we're all hosted by Ibug, so if you want to learn more about Ibug, you can go to the website ibugtoday.com, where you can find everything up there that Ibug is hosting, especially a calendar of events of what's going on. Just a little heads up, Friday night is movie night. And the movie for this Friday night is Brooklyn. It looks a little interesting, so just know it starts 8 p.m. Central Time. 7:30 is the come in and socialize time. So just know the movie is Brooklyn. If you want to know the other events that iBug has going on this month, and you can go to ibugtoday.com. And if you want to follow our iBug Android Insight show, if you missed the episode or you want to go back and review an episode, Hershey, you want to tell them how to do that?
Absolutely. So, first things first, if you go to our main homepage, www.ibug.org, you could find all of our shows and events and whatnot. So if you go to upcoming, you'll find out about our show there. If you go to Android Insight, you'll find all the information there. But if you would like to watch videos from our archive, you could easily go to YouTube, type in iBug Today there, and we have sorted it out for you in playlists. So if you're maybe wanting to learn about your Apple device and you want to learn about your Android device at the same time, you'll have videos to go through all the videos that we produce. And so if you follow our schedule and the upcoming schedule, you'll find most of our content there. So that's a couple places you could look for us. And then let me give you a mailing list that you could get connected with us here. It is going to be iBug, IBUG, Android Insight, ANDROID, Insight, INSIGHT, plus sign, subscribe at groups.io. And if you send a blank email there, if anything news and upcoming, or if someone has questions, or hey, I need to buy a Pixel, do you know where to get one? You'll have some people to at least help you get what you need, and just a little community that you could come back to us, because every month we do this call, so we have from today till next Wednesday, the third Wednesday for every month, you'll be able to find us. So if you want to send us a quick email, you can find us there.
All right. So, I want to say welcome to everybody. I see we still have a lot of people coming in, which is really great. And I want to at least make a little announcement on our mailing list. We've been having some good questions come out and very helpful tips. I want to thank everybody who is on the mailing list. If you're not on there, please come and join. It's a great arena that if you have a question in between shows that you would need the answer to, that is a great arena to post a question, or even post if you find something or something that you're wanting us to look at the next show. That would be a great arena to be able to post that to. Well, I want to say welcome to everybody on the call. We're going to do a little roundabout for introductions. If you're new to the call, please let us know how you heard about us and everything, what device you have, and so on, and also where you're from. Okay, so let's open the floor and let's have everybody introduce themselves.
Okay, hello, this is Renee. Um,
Welcome, Renee.
Hi, I'm not new to the group. I live in Lyndhurst, Ohio, um, outside of Cleveland, and I have everything Android, from Samsung TVs to Google home speakers to Android phones, Samsung tablets, uh, all that stuff. Glad to be here.
Well, thank you so
Welcome, Renee.
much.
And my name is Bill, South Daytona, Florida. And you can blame Harshid for telling me about this little get together. Um, just for, just for whatever's. I'm also an AT instructor at the Center for the Blind up here in Daytona Beach. So, and one of the reasons I'm here is because we've been getting a lot of clients lately coming in and asking for Android training. And I started with an Android device, but now I'm using iPhone because that's the big one here in our offices. So that's what I've been using. But we're starting to get a huge influx of clients needing Android training. So that's why I'm here.
Welcome, Bill. And I promise, I had nothing to do with that. I promise. They're coming
Yeah,
on their own.
right,
It's on their own
right.
will.
Sure, Hershey. Uh huh. Next, and welcome, Bill.
Claudia from Houston, and this is my first time in this call, but it's not my first time in other calls. I'm very new to the Android world. I have a Braille Note Touch, and I also have a Amazon Echo Studio.
Nice, very nice. Well, welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks.
Hello, folks. Whoops. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'll go first. Hi, my name is Joel. I'm from Sacramento, California. I'm new, fairly new, just 2 or 3 visits to the group, enjoying it very much, and like the notices on email. I'm a hybrid situation. I have iPhone, an iPhone for home, and I have a work Android, which I'm using Galaxy. Uh, let's see, that's enough for me. Thanks.
You're welcome, Jill.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is Deborah.
Hi,
I
Miss
am
Deborah.
I'm from Houston, and I have it's been a while, but I've attended some of these other sessions. I have a Pixel 3 XL. Everything else is Android, including the TV.
Very nice, very nice. Well, welcome, and hopefully, if we could answer any new questions for you, we'll keep them written down.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I'm Janice. I'm in Maryland. I've called into Android Insight in the past. I have Samsung televisions, 3 different models of Echo devices, and a Galaxy Z Fold 4.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that fold. Might have questions for you too. But welcome to the call. Thank you so much for coming again.
Thank you.
Anybody else wants to introduce themselves?
Yeah, I guess I can do it. My name is Chris from Las Vegas. I've been here before. I've been using Android since 2008 when the very first G1. I currently have a Pixel 6 Pro and all kinds of home devices and tablets. I do have an iPad as well. Um, I always used everything for magnification before, and due to recent eye surgery, I now require using TalkBack. So it's been a very tough road for somebody who can see just a little bit, converting to using TalkBack.
I could definitely understand. I'm low vision as well, so I can sympathize on the losing the vision little by little. It's like, hey, I could see that. Hey, I can't see that. So it we all have to kind of meet somewhere together, and we continue the journey. Correct. So thank you for coming, and like I said, keep your questions coming to us, and when we get the show going, and we could hopefully do some demonstrations or help you get a claim to some of the stuff that you might feel difficult.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else want to introduce themselves?
This is Suva from Houston.
Hey, Suba, welcome.
This is Jody from New Hampshire, and I haven't been to an Android call. I generally participate in the iBug Buzz. So I do have 7 Amazon smart speakers. So that's what I'm mostly curious about.
So you're not from Vegas, and you got 7. Now, hold on, I was just doing all the math. Chris was from Vegas, and that's awesome with all the Echo devices.
Well, and I only have a 2-room apartment, so.
I know, but yeah, you're Sandhya's friend, obviously. So welcome, Jody.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I've got 7 speakers in 2 rooms.
So welcome. I appreciate you coming on this call. And
sure.
Hey guys, quick second since we have Jody here. So the other day I went to Trekkie Talk, right? So like her voice.
Yes,
and then like
Trekkie
she starts talking, and like she's so much fun over there. So if you guys want to stop by, do something, and you like Star Trek, check out Trekkie Talk, and Jody hosts that show on Thursdays.
Yes, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central.
Awesome. Yeah, so ibugtoday.org, and then if we need to send you the files or whatever the process is, just go to Trekkie Talk, and all the directions are there.
Huh. Cool.
So anybody else, any other introductions, please? I know there were more people. There were so many people talking earlier. What happened?
Hi, this is Shay from Seattle.
Hey, Shay.
Hi. I have what do I have? A Samsung Galaxy A32, Galaxy Tab A8, a handful of both Miss A and Google smart speakers, Samsung TV, and I too am starting to use TalkBack. So I'm hoping to learn some of the basic and tips tonight. So glad to be here. Thank you for providing this.
Awesome. So yeah, well, again, keep your questions written down in your brain, whatever you got to do, and then we'll get into it. Thanks for coming back again. Anybody else?
Richard from New York.
Hey, Richard made it finally. What's going on, Mr. Richard? Welcome back.
Doing all right, and got a questions again for my Android smartphone Revel 4, and I do have the Echo, and I am definitely going to be beaming up tomorrow to the Enterprise because I get on that meetings myself.
That's
Hi,
awesome.
Richard.
Hey, Jody.
All right, so last call. Anybody else want to introduce themselves and let us know where you're from and all that fun stuff?
This is Shri.
Hey, Shri, how's it going? And where you come from?
I'm calling from Northern Virginia, and I do have lots of Amazon devices, and I do have a Google smoke detector system set up.
I'm glad you said that. Yep, you always got to remember to add that one on top. Hey, Shri, but welcome back, and thank you for coming. All right, so anybody else, or Ava, do you have anything else to say? You want to explain who you are? I mean, we just been yapping over here.
This is Foster, calling from Houston, and I have some Amazon devices, some Google devices. So yeah, I'm deep into Android.
Excellent, Foster. So you can be answering all the questions. Thank you for coming again.
This is Jen from Tennessee.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks. I have a Galaxy Note 9 and still looking for, a different phone to use. So I'll be interested in listening in on the meeting tonight.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, and hopefully I'll be able to get to the discussion a little bit.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Kevin from Austin, Texas.
Hey, Kevin. Welcome to the show.
Pixel 6 Pro. I now have two Galaxy S22s because one is for work. And I have every iteration of the Pixel Buds, several Google speakers, a Samsung watch, a Google watch, everything. So
welcome back.
Okay. Well, I want to say welcome to everybody. And as everybody know, I'm Ava. I am one of the co-hosts here, and I'm from Houston. And I have a Galaxy Note. I have Alexa devices. I have Google devices. I just love my toys. So, Hershey, would you like to introduce yourself, and then we will get started?
Sure thing. So I'm Hershey from Daytona Beach, and I have a S22 Ultra for my daily phone. I have a 6 Pro, Pixel 6 Pro that I play around in. That was brought on the show a couple times. Note 9, that is my retired phone. I love that phone. It's one of my most favorite phones of all time, I think. Pixel 4 XL, pretty good Pixel phone with face recognition. The other ones don't have that. Oh yeah, the Google speakers behind me. I better be quiet or they might hear me. And displays and stuff like that. And so somewhat more in the Google space than in the Amazon space. I have a couple sticks, the Fire Stick, and that has the A-Lady on there as a remote. So, by the way, we should remember if you're trying to talk about the A-Lady, let's not repeat her name because then she'll start babbling. If I might say somebody else's name over there because she names her speakers a different name, so you don't name it that either because then her speaker might go off. So we'll call it the A-Lady or the Echo device or whatever. So we'll continue the show. So who wants to get started?
This is Renee.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to start by saying thank you to Kevin for the advice through the email in between the two mini meetings. I had asked about an issue I was having with TalkBack on my Samsung tablet. So I did contact the Google support through Be My Eyes. And as luck would have it, my tablet updated while I was talking to her, and it seemed to fix the problem. But since I had her on the line, I asked her a bunch of other questions because I was having a problem with a Google Chrome the Google TV remote, which apparently is a known problem that sometimes it just speeds through channels. It's a little bit flaky. And I asked her a few other questions about some issues I was having with my speaker not wanting to recognize my Google Play music list. And the person was very helpful. I've been told about that service before, but had never used it. But if they didn't have an answer, they were pointing me in the right direction. So I just want to say thank you for the help from the group.
That is a really good story. Since we're on that same topic of Be My Eyes and that, let me go ahead and just give you that site as we are so you have it. It's g.co/disability support. And what that does is it provides you a connection to Google that anything Android, just put it that way, in that space. And so if you need help through email, you could email them. So if you have your Google speakers, phones, etc., or your Samsung phone, you could reach to them by Be My Eyes, so you could have your camera be used with the call on technical support option under Be My Eyes. And then you could also do a phone call setup, and that's another option. So what was funny earlier is right before the show, I tried to fire up the Pixel 6 Pro, and the phone was corrupted. I didn't know anything to do with it, so I had to call Be My Eyes, and So the phone's in front of me reset. Maybe you guys could help me set it up later, or maybe we'll just leave it alone, but we'll see.
This is
Hershey. Hershey.
Go ahead.
This is Deborah. Could you repeat that website again, please, on the disability support?
Absolutely. So G as in golf, and then a dot, and then co as in Charlie, Oscar, slash, / disability, DISABILITY, support, SUPPORT. And that will take you through it'll take you to a web browser or website, and then you could choose your option. If you wanted to just use your Be My Eyes app instead, fire up your Be My Eyes app, and then go to the technical what do you call it? The 1 second.
Specialized support.
Specialized support. Let me pull a couple wires here. Keep talking, guys. We'll just do it together.
Okay. Well, I don't have the Be My Eyes. I've seen it demonstrated, but I don't have it on mine. But with low vision, as some of the rest of you, it's getting to where it's more difficult to read email.
Okay, I got a friend on the phone.
Well, it is a good app to have, whether you have low vision or no vision. It's free, so it's a very good app to keep on your phone for just in case measures for things. Okay.
So Be My Eyes is up, and
we're happy to hear you've had a great call. Share your experience. Button, share. Button, done.
Okay, I'll click done because I was on the call earlier. So
contact the Google Disability Support Team for questions on assistive technology or accessibility features within Google products.
Okay, I'll slow it down. Don't yell at me.
Speech rate. Speech rate 338. Speech rate 307%. Speech rate 279%. Speech rate 254%.
Okay, we'll keep it something like
that. Open now. Closes 8:30 p.m.
So we'll just back out button, all the way. See where we are.
Spotify.
Trying
open.
to get back
list.
to the. Oh man, we backed out too much.
Google.
Okay, 1 second.
Button. What's the weather? Home. Apps. Out of list. Apps. Google. Be My Eyes.
Be My Eyes.
Technical. Spotify. Open.
So
list.
That's why I'm getting confused. I'm like, why did it say Spotify? And yeah, I got confused because I forgot Spotify is a thing you could call now.
Microsoft.
Microsoft is a thing you could call for technical.
LinkedIn. Open.
LinkedIn.
Google. Open.
Google, and it's open.
Be My Eyes. Closed.
Be My Eyes itself. And so
specialized help. Button.
This is under specialized help, which is at the bottom of the screen. I'm just
button. Navigate up.
Let me get
talkback menu. Sound feedback off.
Let me get sound feedback on, so it gives you a little bit more context.
Image, system UI, image, message, image, Discord note, image, Discord note, home, personal health.
So yeah, personal health.
Home and cleaning, food and beverage, careers, blindness organizations, beauty and grooming, assistive technology, show, button, search, out, about, specialized help, button, navigate up, specialized help, about, button, search, assistive technology, in beauty and grooming, blindness organizations, careers, Blind Institute of Technology, closed. In list. Jobs for Humanity, closed.
So that's just an example there. I just kind of accidentally clicked into one of them. And if you wanted to go to Google, like I said, you could do that. If you don't need to, and if you just wanted to call somebody, you would just use the app as usual to call the first available first available representative, or however they word it. And if you have more questions, like I said, you could ask me particularly to this, or we could keep it moving.
This is Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
With the Be My Eyes app, if you don't have it installed, please install it and go to the new virtual volunteer beta and get on the wait list so they can see that there is interest on Android. So the beta is open to Android users right now, and you'll be on the waiting list, but they're going to add a virtual volunteer option. And there's some YouTube videos on it that you can see. It's really impressive what it's going to be.
Where do we find that, Kevin?
So if you just install Be My Eyes, and it's going to say call first available volunteer, and then it's going to have specialized help, and then it's going to say get on the
virtual volunteer access pending.
Virtual volunteer to see. So his is pending like mine is. So it's right after the specialized help. There's three options on that main page. Well, there's
Button.
more than
Specialized
three,
help.
but
Button. Call
it's the
first
third
available link to
option
My
on
Eyes.
that main
Button.
page.
Specialized help.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, just did it.
Yeah, so we win by numbers, right? I mean, mine's been saying pending, and I thought Kevin has a code for me or something, but I'm sad now. I'll wait and pend. Any new questions? Any thoughts?
This is Suva.
Hershey. Oh,
Go ahead, Suba, and then we'll go to the next person that's my name.
Oh, mine is a no question though. Should I go?
Go ahead to the other person that was trying to say something.
this is Janice.
Hey, Janice.
If you wanted to use Be My Eyes in connection with the disability, but you've never used Be My Eyes before, would you suggest just using Be My Eyes first to become familiar with how that operates before you use it in connection with the disability support?
No, not at all. The reason why I brought up the three different places. So the main website as the GCO / disability support, that gives you the same options, right? So if you needed to, hey, my computer is not working properly, like my Chromebook, or my other phone's not working like it was today, I used my Samsung to look at my Pixel to reset it and was able to get it back to where it needed to be. And that's just one way you could utilize it. You don't have to utilize it. If you just want to talk to them through email and say, hey, I want to do it this way, feel free to, by all means, to do it that way. And to use the first available volunteer, I've used it for silly things or even complicated things. Like I got a new filter for my air purifier, and you have to take a safety pin and poke it to a hole or something. And I'm like, I don't know where that is. So, just call the first available person.
Right.
And I've had a couple instances even for my computer. And it's funny, the guy lived in Alaska, then he went to Hawaii for a vacation, and we both knew each other. It's like, whoa, like, I know you, don't I? He's like, yeah, I've helped you before. I'm like, so you never know who you might get another person like that.
Right.
But in any case, there's no learning curve. It's big buttons. The first button says call first available. The other two buttons is call specialized. And then what we're talking about for the virtualized thing, that's just in the past month or two, that's become a topic. So we win by numbers. And if we all show that we all Android users, we might get the apps for us.
Right.
Comparatively, there's an app called Seeing AI on the iOS side. If we talk with numbers, they might bring it over to maybe Google side. We don't know, but it all speaks with numbers. So,
okay.
But great question. Thank you for that.
This
Hey,
is
Hirsch.
Yes.
Hirsch, it's Bill.
Go ahead, Bill.
Just a little tip that if you do install it, just to test it out, they don't mind, because I do that a lot with my clients. Just to, I get them to install it on their device.
Yes, great point.
And, you just tell them, hey, this is what you do. This is, tap on it. And at that point, somebody will come on and, we're just testing it out. We're just showing how it works and everything. And they're very good about that. So, don't be afraid that once you install it, just, give it a quick test and they'll tell you exactly what it is and how it works. And, it's a very helpful, app. A lot of people for a while there, they were using Ira, but Ira's made a lot of changes that, now is very costly. So we're trying to get them on to Be My Eyes now. And I've had some great success with that. So, don't be afraid to try it.
Bill, you made a couple of great points there. So Ira, AIRA Explorer, used to be called Ira previously, and it's a paid app at this point, so you pay for the minutes. The only difference is, though, is if you're trying to look at your social security taxes, whatever, you have a trusted agent with you. On Be My Eyes, it's volunteers. So, some information might be pertinent to you. You might want to keep that away off the camera. So it's little things like that that you might just want to keep in the back of your mind. But for what we need it for example, Google. I mean, if I have somebody at Google trying to help me through a process, through a password or whatever, so be it, right? But it's just some of the stuff just becomes common sense with that. And Uh, Again, it's the free versus paid option, and again, if you're a business, the paid version for Ira isn't a bad idea because you could use it for maybe making PowerPoints, so you could be more productive. And all of
Right.
these apps are available on Android. So just to make that kind of clear, where you're not winning one over the other, all of these apps that we're going to talk about are available on Android.
Exactly. And the other thing too with the IRA agents, they are bonded. So when they come on board, they can't discuss. It's basically HIPAA. You know, so you're pretty well uh, protected that way. But you do pay for it. So I usually use it for Be My Eyes would be for simple things, and then if I had to, I would use Ira to do certain things that would be held confidential. So that's the difference, really.
Right. And go ahead, Super. You had a question, I believe.
Yes. Hi. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, yeah, my question is basically, I would like to know if the Android version of Voice Stream Reader, I think I know, but I just want to kind of see if anybody have some experience with actively using it. Also, second part of that question would be the Bookshare, Learning Alley and Bard in Android. I don't have an Android. A lot of my students are, bringing up Android, and when I'm talking about, I just want to be sure that they are available on the Android platform, and what I'm mentioning to the students are accurate. So it's just some more. Anybody's actively using any of the resources? How do they all work with, TalkBack or in the what is not available in the Android platform
Right.
that is available in iOS?
Great. Well, great question. Some of that we're gonna have to revisit some of the names. Okay, so like Bard Mobile, Bookshare. What was the first one that you
The
mentioned?
alternative to Voice Stream
Voice Stream
Reader.
Reader. Okay, so Leisure Scanner Reader. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it to the floor. This is how this call works, guys. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys. Anybody have any answers for Suba that can give him some alternatives to iOS's Voice Stream Reader or Scanner or whatever?
Yeah, Hirsch, it's Gary.
Hey,
I
Gary.
have experience with Voice Stream Reader, now called Leisure Reader, so it does work with TalkBack. The Bookshare app was just redesigned with for both Android and iOS. I have no experience with that one, but that one's available. So same with the Bard mobile app is also available. It works with TalkBack. So
Okay,
This is
you guys
Kevin.
promise not to laugh at my Bard mobile app? I mean, I don't have any books in there, so please don't laugh.
Amazon
We
Shopping.
got
View my
some
eyes.
avid
Bard Mobile. View my
readers
eyes.
here in
Home
chat.
page. Bard Mobile.
Let's see. Here's
Bard Mobile.
Bard
Image.
Mobile.
Bard Mobile splash screen. Bard Mobile. Get books. Cite a message. Greetings, everyone. Bard will be taken offline for 2.5 hours on Thursday, April 20th, 2023. The outage will begin at 7 a.m. We expect that Bard will be returned to service by 9:30 a.m. All times Eastern patrons who are enrolled in the Smart Speaker beta will be able to continue reading their books through the Smart Speaker. They will not, however, be able to access their Bard wish lists during the scheduled outage. Thanks, everyone. Don Olson.
If that happens on iOS, it happens on Android. Is that fair?
Button. Okay.
But just being funny here,
Bard
but
Mobile.
yes, so
Get
we
book.
do have
Recently added to Bard. In list. Most popular books. Browse magazines. Previous downloads.
menus like
Bard.
this.
Showing
Currently, I reset my app or phone and then reset my password, all that, so I don't have anything on this device currently. But again, as I remembered it last, and if anybody has used it in more recent after this update, want to give any updates verbally, then let us know. But all of these apps that you mentioned so far, they have a alternative.
Good.
This is Jody.
Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin, and then Jody.
Yes. So the Barn mobile app is available. The Ledger, both the scanner and the reader. I think there's two different ones. They are both paid, $9.99. I think. Sometimes there's specials. Easy Reader, Dolphin Easy Reader is also available. The Bookshare Reader app should be the same as it is. I do have some experience with that, but I don't have paid account right now, but it's there. They were released, I guess, basically on the same day. So that's always good. So yes, any of the reading apps. The only thing is that I don't know what reason it's the same developer, but for some reason he changed the name of the Android app. It was called VoiceStream. The Bard.
How,
Go ahead.
how do you spell the leisure app? I just don't have access to the.
Okay, I'm gonna show you here shortly, Suba. And Kevin, so can you confirm that with the name change? Because that's one question I've always had is why the name change.
Well, I guess you'd have to write him. He's pretty responsive.
But okay, so it's the same person that you've talked to in the sense of voice stream side to
Yeah,
the
we
other
just
side.
because at first the developer had made a statement that he would never develop an app for Android, and I don't know why he did, but he did. And so then we went back and forth about some of the beta things and taking advantage of some of the things that you can do on Android at the time that you couldn't do on iOS, like being able to browse the device for files, being able to import files and stuff like that, and things like that. But anyway, but then one day it just got changed to Ledger, so I had it installed, and it was called VoiceStream, and it just went to Ledger.
Copy that. Thank you.
But one thing I was wanting to say about the Bard is it's not completely parity with the iOS like they had promised us, but they have, when Google added the Braille support to TalkBack natively, they did add Braille. I haven't tested it out, but they do have Braille on Android now. They completely left it out before. And they've made some improvements, some on the Google side and some on their side. So they're using the latest version of Chrome and the web accessibility interface standard. So now when you have to go, to the full site, like to search for books and stuff like that, it's all a much smoother process. So they've made a lot of improvements in the last year or so. Like I said, it's still not on the exact parity with the iOS side, but they've come a long way on the Bard side. But the basic tenets of the app work perfectly from day one, basically.
Thank you for that.
Thanks.
And I am trying to pull it up right here from the App Store. Let me plug me in.
USB connector connected.
And
Samsung Notes. Sheets. Samsung Wallet. Scan Shield. Scanner. Scanner. 3 quick off button. App info. App info. But. Show app details in store. App downloaded from Google Play. Play Store. Navigate up. Ledger Scanner. Beta. In list.
okay, so it's spelled. Let's see.
Accessibility volume.
Oh, so you might be wondering, how do you change words and characters? How are you going to even know that, right? So with TalkBack, you use 3 fingers to do your navigation controls, if you want to call it, your reading controls. So how do you read by characters, words, lines, paragraph, such that? So I'm going to use
Characters.
3 fingers, go to character. I'm already focused on leisure.
Capital L.
L.
E.
E.
G. E. R. E. Space. Capital S. C. A. N. N. E. R. Space. Left paren. Capital B. E. T. A. Right paren.
And that's...
Into the board game icon for Ledger Scanner. Beta.
So mine still shows up as beta. It
Ledger
was
Technologies LLC.
$5.99 when I purchased it. It should be the same. The other one is called Reader, which is the VoiceStream Reader. Same type of thing. Let's see if I could open this.
Ledger Technologies LLC. Uninstall button. Label button. You're a beta tester. Label button.
Let's enable it.
Update.
Okay, let's update it. Jeez, why not?
Uninstall button.
Let's see how quickly that happens. Right?
Try Google Play.
No, let's not.
Play Store. Uninstall button. Open. You're a beta tester for this. Open button. Disabled.
Not yet,
Cancel
not
button.
yet, not
Open
yet.
button. Disabled. Cancel button. Open button. Disabled. Cancel button. Disabled. Icon of verify by play. Cancel. Open. But you're a beta tester for this app. Future as you're a beta tester for this. Open button. Uninstall button.
So what I'm doing is flicking left and right, guys. So, and girls, women, and men. And what it does is you are basically going right now, I have it set to words or characters and stuff. So it's just basically focusing on
Open button.
those different elements. So I'm at open now. I'm going to double tap on open with one finger.
Scanner, ledger, out of list.
And now
Button, capture
leisure
image. Permission request on top.
scanner is
Scanner on
open.
bottom. Allow ledger scanner to take pictures and record video.
It
Allow ledger scanner to take pictures and record video.
asks me that, so I'm going to
Button,
say
while using the app.
while using the app, or
Button, only this
I
time.
could do it only this time,
Button, don't allow.
or I don't allow. So let's
Button,
do
only
it
this time.
only this time.
Capture image. Scanner.
And
Button,
now,
capture image.
just like anything else,
Button, batch mode off. Button, capture image.
you
Button,
would
flash off.
have from
Button, settings.
settings,
Button, import photo. Button,
import,
edge detection off. Button, flash off. Button, capture image. Button, batch mode off. Button, auto capture off. Button, batch mode off. Button, capture image. Button, flash off. Button, edge detection off. Button, import photo. Button, settings.
So if that sounds familiar to you from the other side, it is exactly the same, and hopefully that helped. So if you have any other new...
This is Suva.
Go ahead, Suba.
Yep, I'd just like to mention thank you, Kevin, for explaining some of the different resources about for the Android side, and thank you for demoing the Ledger reader and scanner. That helps a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any new questions, thoughts, concerns?
I think Jody had a question.
Oh, yeah. Jody, Miss Jody. Sorry, Miss Jody. Go ahead.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I was just gonna. Well, you mentioned the Dolphin e-reader, and I was gonna mention that. Now, as far as the Bookshare app is concerned, on the iOS side, it still has a lot of bugs, and I don't know about the Android side. I'm assuming that it'll probably operate about the same way. But they just came out with it, so it's got bugs. I use the VoiceStream reader to read Bookshare books. And also Bookshare membership is going to go up to $79 a year. It's been $50 for forever, for like 20 years. So they're going to have a price jump. And that's the only thing I was going to comment about.
Thank you for letting us know. That's good information.
This is Suva.
Go ahead, Suba.
So since we're at the topic of membership for Bookshare, if you're a student and if you have an organizational account, you do have to apply for that. But if you can obtain an organizational account, and if you're a teacher, it is free for the organization and all students within that organization. So I didn't know the membership is going up in price, but that's interesting to know. Definitely.
Yeah, this is Jody again.
Go ahead.
Also, students have free membership. Also, some states, through your state library, also provide membership. I don't know what states, but I know mine doesn't. And also, Book Rehab, I think, can also assist you with membership. So there's a lot of options for people.
Anybody else have any other extra information about memberships or anything? I know we got some good people up in here.
This is Joel.
Go ahead, Joel.
This is Joel from Sacramento. I heard recently, I don't know if it's related, but I heard recently about that licensing of books, that the laws have either have either expired but I think libraries right now are dealing with issues with additional cost for licensing books in libraries. I think they were concerned that it was going to become more expensive. But I don't know if that's related, but it could be an issue why the price is going up. Also, too, I don't know if anybody mentioned Overdrive and Libby too. I mean, they're not exactly book readers, but as platforms for audiobooks. Anyway, that's it for me.
Thank you so much for the information.
Just FYI, Overdrive at the end of the month is going away. Going to be exclusive on Libby. I was told that by my local library. The app is actually going away since it's the same company.
Okay, so subbing it into one app, basically into Libby, is what I'm
Correct.
understanding? Okay.
Yes.
This is Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
And Libby is on Android the only one of those two apps that was accessible. At one time, when you would open Overdrive, it would actually tell you if you were a screen reader user to use the Libby app. So they never improved the accessibility anyway. So good riddance.
It cost money, Kevin. Yeah.
Hi, this is Joel again. Hey, thanks everybody for the input. I appreciate it. I have a weird question just about something you mentioned earlier when you were allowing access to the program to your scanner, to your camera or something. And one of the options was while using the app.
Correct.
How is that different than just allowing the app to utilize your camera? I mean, otherwise, it's like, are there ways for the app to utilize your camera when you're not interacting with the app? If you don't limit it to the when you're using it.
Anybody want to answer that for Mr. Joel? And to let him, he basically wants to know what the menus that we just looked at. What does, use it only this time or always allow? What does that mean in the allow or deny access screen?
This is Chris from Vegas. I used to do this for a living. Yes. Basically, the allow while using the app is a newer feature on Android. It only started about Android 11, I think it was. And it's really prevalent now on Android 13. And the reason is because they had a lot of bad actors creating apps that were spying on people. And they were opening the app, and when you allowed the access, it would run, a program would run or an app would run in the background, and it would turn on your microphone or your camera, and they were spying on people. So that is the reason that's been added. I was afraid you would say that. Yes, and that's the reason it's been added. So if you have any app that requires a camera or microphone, just allow while using the app only, and you're safe.
So thank you there. And let me give you one antidote that happened because of that app and why you saw it in that state. I've had this app installed since I've had the S22 Ultra, but I hadn't used it. So my phone was Samsung was smart enough to say, hey, I'm not giving you any more access. Until you need the access, I'll let the user, the owner, enable you. So you heard me enable it at first because I already had it installed. But after enabling it, then it said, hey, you have an update. So it took us a couple minutes, and I flicked back and forth just to see until I heard open, and open was available to click on or tap on. And until I heard the word open and it wasn't blank or whatever it said, I use those as points to know what's happening. And allowing accessing or permissions in that sense, maybe you want to not worry about it and give it permission forever. So that's kind of what that gives it. But then giving it that one time thing, next time it's going to ask you the same thing. And if you don't want it to have it just in case, you have that choice. And then denying it, obviously, you're not giving it any option. So it's kind of giving it everything, or you decide to give it a little bit, or don't give it anything at all. Any new questions?
Hirsch, it's
Yes.
Bill.
Go ahead.
I know from the iOS side, there's a way that you can stop background processes on individual apps. And I wonder if what you were demonstrating there for a minute was sort of on the same thing where you're preventing the background app from running once you close that app. And so, I'm wondering if that's kind of on the same basis. I know
that's
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, that's what the allow while using the app. As soon as you close the app, the access goes away. Next time you open the app, the access is available. It works just like the iOS.
Okay. Yep, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And it's based around a privacy brain model that we're put on now, right? It's privacy, privacy, privacy. So it's the behavior towards that to protect us and to prevent us from bad actors. So that's kind of the reasoning there. Hey, Ava, you got anything in A Lady Land over there? That
No,
land?
well, no. Does anybody have any question about their A lady or?
This is Jody.
Yes, Jody.
Yes, I don't know if anybody noticed on Sunday morning, I went to use my A ladies and they were all down. And I checked the Wi-Fi, I checked the app to make sure it was and it seemed to be operating okay. And then I got a message from a friend in New York saying, "What happened to my A lady?" And I got another message from another friend in Missouri saying, "What happened to my A lady?" Well, I happened to be on an Echo email list, and the messages started flying. And somebody in Ireland said, "What happened to my A lady?" Well, apparently, they did an update, and for whatever reason it was down for a couple hours. I thought the servers might have been down because that's happened in the past before, but I just wanted to comment. I don't know if anybody had that happen or noticed, but it was quite a thing. I guess it even got reported on the Reuters news service.
Yeah, that happened here with me, and I run a kind of a tech group on WhatsApp. And when I noticed what was going on, I put the word out for anybody that was using Lady A to, don't worry about it. It's probably going to come up. You just have to keep trying every once in a while. So yeah, evidently it was system wide, and why they did it in the morning is beyond me. But that's just the way I guess they did it.
This is Jody. I guess they now realize how many of us are addicted.
Well, yeah, that's one thing, and the thing is too, I believe, and I'll have to look it up, but I also believe that um, there's a link somewhere on the web through Amazon that gives you system updates, or system, health updates, and I couldn't find it at the time, but I do believe they still have that, and you can always check that if there's issues like that again. So
Yeah.
as soon as I find it, I'll let Hirsch know, or then the next time I come on, I'll give an idea where it's at.
It's coming back.
Well, that's
again.
great.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
So it was international.
Oh yeah, it was out everywhere.
All right. Any new questions? Ava, got any Amazon stuff there? No?
This is Jody with a question.
Yes, Jody.
Yeah, I have a Fire Stick that I rarely use because I just watch TV on my phone. I have the speech turned on so that the speech on the, navigating the screen works. But whenever I go into a program, the audio description is not there. And I wonder how to turn that on within the show or within the, whatever.
There should be. This is Bill. There should be on the remote. There's the button. I'm trying to think with the sticks. I think they're a little bit different, but there is a menu button, and I believe if you press and hold that, I think it brings up the options to change the to change some of those parameters. Of course, the biggest problem with that is like some shows will have audio description, some won't.
Yeah, some don't. Yeah. Okay.
So you kind of it's like a hit or miss. They don't announce it like they used to. When you would look at the description of the program, and and it would say, it used to say descriptive audio available or whatever it was. I forget what exactly the terminology was, but I don't notice that anymore. So I personally don't use that, but I do know a lot of people who do, and it's become a bit of a problem. I wish they would at least put that back in the description of the program so that people would know yes, no,
It
is
depends
it
on
there
your
or
app.
is it not?
This is Shree.
Yes, Shree.
I think if you go to acb.org/ADP, they provide a list of all the shows that are currently running with audio description. And they do it pretty much in real time.
Yeah, this is Jody.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got that, and I know the show that I went to is audio described, but I did go to the settings. I did bring up the menu, go to settings, and try, and I hit the audio description button, but then it wouldn't describe the show. So I really it's not really a problem for me at this point because I just watch TV on my phone. There's no point in turning I can't see the TV anyway. So
This is
This
Chris.
is Kevin.
Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Which app are you? This is handled so even though you can set it up in the settings, sometimes, especially if the app is self-voicing, like Hulu, you you have to go and set it up in the app, so an app by app basis thing. The good thing is that if you turn it on, or this is with Prime, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, if you turn it on your phone on a particular show, that goes across all devices. So even if you watch it on the web, at Hulu.com or whatever, it's gonna stick.
okay, I'm on Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus, that's a whole
Yeah,
nother.
that's a tough one to
This
deal with.
this is Chris. What I
Go ahead,
found,
Chris.
what I found on Paramount Plus is you have to do it by show.
That's what I
And
found too.
the best way to do is to pause it
Yeah.
and then use the up arrow and go to the menu that way and do it there, because there's no way to do it globally, which is sad, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Renee.
It would make it a lot easier if it was.
Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah. Kevin's right. It's across apps. I can tell you, and I actually sit on the ACB Audio Description Project Media Subcommittee and Steering Committee, and I'm an avid audio description user. And for Netflix and for Amazon Prime, in the person settings, like you have users, you can set up your stuff. Once you turn it on once, it'll stay there for you through all your stuff on those two. But on Kevin, you said for Hulu you can do that. That might be something new. I haven't noticed that with Hulu. And actually, Hulu is very inconsistent with providing audio description. Some shows that you'll find on network television that have audio description will not pass through to Hulu. That's been a known issue and a discussion that's been going on for years and years and years, kind of a little bit of a pushback from them. But like Disney Plus, it'll stay with the setting. I don't have um, Apple TV, so I'm not sure if it does for that. For Peacock and for Paramount Plus, both of those, I do believe you have to set them up every time you watch a show. You have to do that. I'm an avid YouTube TV user, and for YouTube TV, you have to do it if you set it up on the channel you're on, it'll continue. But if you change channels, then you got to set it again. So every single one of them is different, and unfortunately, the defaults are not consistent. These are things we've complained about, but it's getting more and more available, and the number of stations that do live television, we're pushing every year for more to have to meet the requirements for providing so many hours of audio description.
This is Kevin.
Yes, Kevin.
I think I've just probably used a lot of Hulu original content. I have noticed that sometime randomly it'll just turn off and I'll have to activate it again. But most of the primetime shows and Hulu originals, it tends to stay for quite a while, but it's not as good and consistent as Netflix or Prime.
Hey, Kevin, I had a quick question for you. Have you used the audio description setting turned on, and has it worked for you on Samsung devices or even the Pixel side?
So I have it turned on my Pixel, but I have not been willing to go and turn it off in all my apps to see if it would work anyway. So I have it turned on, but it's really for no reason, I guess, because I don't want to go and turn it off in Hulu and turn it off in Prime Video and turn it off in Netflix. So it's kind of a lazy thing, I guess, but it is there.
Let's get them. Let's get them kind of what we're talking about, because you're probably like, wait, what? Who?
Notification shade.
So I'm going to open up settings.
Button. Open settings. Out of list.
I'm on a
Settings.
Samsung
Button.
S22
Search
Ultra
settings.
currently. The Pixel settings, you have to flip it down twice for notification. Then it goes to quick settings, and then the settings is there. But we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And
developer options.
That's
28
developer option
about
for
phone.
me, but
Status.
about
Leave
phone should be
information.
for you.
Tips and user software
I'm
update.
going to look
Accessibility.
for
Talkback. Mono
accessibility.
audio. Assist. Accessibility. Button. Accessibility. Showing items 1 to 11.
Now in this menu, I get
button. Search. Button. More options. Recommended for you. Using 4 functions. 1 of 11. In list. 11 items. Talkback. 2 of 11. Spoken assistance. 3 of 11. Visibility enhancements. 4 of 11. Hearing enhancements. 5 of 11. Interaction and dexterity. 6 of 11. Advanced settings. 7 of 11. Installed apps. 1 of 8 apps are in use. 8 of 11. About accessibility. 9 of 11. Contact us. 10 of 11. Showing item 9 of 11. Button. Navigate up. Out of list. Accessibility. Button. Search. Button. More option. Interaction and dexterity. 6 of 11. Inlet. Here visibility. Spoken assistance. Showing items 1 to 9.
So I'm going to look for
visibility
what we were talking about earlier. I'm just going to scroll to the top again.
Talkback. 2 of 11. Spoken assistance. 3 of 11. Visibility.
Spoken assistance.
3 of
Where it's
11.
at.
Spoken assistance. Button.
Now
Navigate up.
I'm
Out
going
of
to
list.
swipe to the right.
Spoken assistance. Speak keyboard input allowed. Disabled while talkback is on. Switch. Speak keyboard input allowed. On. Audio description. If available, automatically select the audio soundtrack with an audio description while watching videos. Switch. On. 2 of 5. Bixby Vision for accessibility. 3 of 5. Showing items 1 to 5. Voice label. Write voice recordings to NFC tags to provide you with information when you're nearby. The tag.
But yeah, that's some of the stuff there. If you have more questions, keep on asking. Any questions? Yep.
This is Shri.
Oh, hey, Shri, go ahead.
Foster mentioned that he had the watch for the Samsung and the Pixel. I wanted to find out what was the difference between the two watches.
Foster, are you still around with us? Maybe. Don't know if he's on the list. He might have bounced off, perhaps.
Yeah.
Anybody noted? So, Shri, your basic question is, what's the difference between Pixel and Samsung watches?
Yeah, like, is there anything that's a deal breaker to say this is better than that?
This is Kevin.
Nope, understood.
That was actually me.
Oh, so
that
sorry.
has both. I have a problem. So there's some difference. This is the first generation Pixel watch. They're both running Wear OS. Samsung always puts its own.
Kind of hitting your mic, so or whatever it is.
The Samsung always puts their own spin on things, just like they do on the phone. But they've been doing this for a lot longer than Google. So there are some things, not necessarily on the accessible side, but just as far as things that you can customize that are a little bit different than the Pixel Watch. But as far as accessibility and things like that, there's really no difference. There's some health things that you have to have the Samsung app and have to have a Samsung phone to do. And there's some things that you can only do if you have a Pixel phone or, but they're both Wear OS devices. And so they both interact with Android phones for the most part. And they have an app that helps them interface. And so most of the stuff is there, and you can make the settings changes and everything from the watch or from the phone on both. And so it's pretty, I think there's a few more options and stuff, just like twisting your wrist to reject a call and stuff. Samsung just has a lot of bells and whistles. And like I said, this is only Google's first watch. So.
Very true, Kevin. And this is Hershey. I'd really agree with that. And for Samsung watches, it would give you similarities to an iOS watch because of the fact that if you want to know time by vibration and such, similar to what you find on iOS devices, that's kind of found on the Samsung watches. On the Pixel devices, it's still a baby. It's first generation. So these suggestions are coming in, and hopefully both watches will be similar and synonymous to each other. But there's just one's ahead of the other kind of thing.
This is Ava.
Chris.
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I just wanted to make a comment that the Pixel has a rounded bezel on it and a rounded display. I have the Samsung. I actually just got the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. I originally had one of the old ones, Get Classic. But the one thing that you might want to be careful of is the Pixel has been having a lot of problems with people breaking the lens because the lens is rounded, and if you bump something with it, it's causing cracks. There's been a lot of reports of that. That's actually the reason I went with the Samsung again. I was going to do a Pixel because I have a Pixel phone, but Samsung, or the Pixel rather, has been having a lot of issues with cracked lenses. So it's just something to be aware of and save yourself $300.
So is it using a glass as the case, or is it using like a sapphire type glass?
They both have the same glass. It's the sapphire. What do you call it? It's the same glass they use on the phones, but the problem is on the Pixel, it's rounded and it kind of sticks up. On the Samsung, it's flat. So with the curved features of the Pixel, it causes more of it weakens it a bit, I guess you'd say. And there's been a lot of problems with them breaking. And that, again, that's the reason I went with another Samsung, even though I have a Pixel 6 phone.
This is Kevin.
Yes, Kevin.
I will say, just a personal opinion, I don't care if I crack 3 of them. The way that the watch feels and the fact that most sites say that it is the most beautiful or the prettiest smartwatch on the market is worth the trade-off. I'll buy 3 more of them if it ever cracks. Like, it feels pretty.
All right,
when you
Kevin.
touch it,
Style
it feels
versus
pretty.
rugged.
All right, Kevin.
I mean, I have both watches, and I like the fact that my other one has a rotating bezel, but it just feels pretty. Like, I don't care. I'll buy 3 more if it breaks.
So get the insurance.
Well,
Yeah.
the one thing to remember in choosing the watches, also look at which app do you use the most. Are you using Google Fit? Are you using Samsung Health? Because Samsung Health only works with the Galaxy Watch. It will not work with Google Fit. It will.
Yeah, right. But
They
I
will
have the
not
Samsung
connect to
Health
the
on my
Google Fit.
Pixel phone.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just saying, if you have the Galaxy Watch, it only works with the Samsung Health. It does not work with Google Fit
Yeah,
to sync it.
they have certain features that
Yeah.
won't. You can install the Samsung Health app on your Pixel phone,
Mhm.
but there's certain things that I can't do on there that I can do on my Galaxy phone.
Right.
Yes.
So there's.
But the new Samsungs don't have the rotating bezel, and that's actually one thing I dislike about it. I liked the old rotating bezel on the older ones.
Tactileness, yep.
Yeah. So just
Well, it
remember.
was easy. Like if an alarm went off, I could just turn the bezel to the left to turn it off, or if I turned it to the right, it would snooze it. It's not a feature that's on these new ones, and supposedly it's going to be coming back with the Galaxy Watch 6 because too many people complained.
Yeah, so it's just remembering what you are really looking for, as in which app it works with. Okay, so I don't know if Kevin, is the Galaxy waterproof. If you go swimming, like not the Galaxy, the Pixel, because I know when I go swimming, I can wear my watch and put it on swim mode. So
yeah, it's like the same
Okay.
30 minutes or whatever they recommend. Like they don't recommend that you submerge it, but you could, do a swim or whatever. I forgot what the rating is, but it's waterproof to a certain.
Oh well, no. I know the Galaxy has a swim feature where if I put it on that, it puts it in swim mode. So while I'm in the water, because I'm usually in the water for like an hour, and when I come out the water, all I do is double tap it, and it actually spits the water out of the water.
Out.
Yeah. So those are some
I
things.
will check and see because
Yeah.
I've been using the Fitbit thing because they own Fitbit, so I have Google Fit and Fitbit. So I would have to check the Fitbit part of it and see.
Yeah. But those are things you may want to, when you're looking at a watch, which one to get, look at the features and look at what you are really needing and what you are looking to get out of it. So.
This is true.
Go ahead, Trey.
I collect smartwatches. So I currently have the Gear. I have the two Samsung right now, but I'm running it on my iOS. So I shouldn't have any problem getting the Pixel and running on the iOS, right?
I would recommend you go ahead and buy the Android Mont Blanc version, and everything will be working just fine, and you'll have a Mont Blanc watch. There you go.
So we're talking about image then, right? It's all about the look.
Yeah, this is Kevin. So both Samsung and Google decided to take the because all the Samsungs, like you mentioned, the Gear used to work with iOS or whatever, but Samsung and Google have decided to kind of draw the line just like Apple, and so they do not work with iPhones anymore at all.
Okay. Well, that made it easy.
This is Renee.
Go ahead, Renee.
I have a question. It's kind of a general question.
Good.
Because I'm looking to buy new equipment. Can you get all your devices to charge on like a pad charger? Does that work? Is it okay on the battery? Does it cause the battery to deteriorate faster or anything like that? I hate trying to plug things in.
This is free.
Go ahead, Tree.
I know that Tesla came out with one that's supposed to be universal. It's $300.
Like something that goes on your desk that will charge everything.
It's just a pad, and you can put your watch in anywhere on the pad, and your watch anywhere on the pad, it'll charge.
So I could charge watch, I could charge earbuds, I could charge cell phone, tablets, everything.
I think it charges 3 things.
3 things at a time, but still, it would do all of them. Or you can only match it with 3 things.
I think it can charge 3 things.
Okay.
This is Chris.
Yes, Chris.
The Pixel stand that they make for the Pixel phones will charge anything that has anything that'll charge wirelessly, like my Pixel Buds, my Pixel phone, and I have other devices here that are wireless charging, and it works just fine with them.
You said it's a stand?
Yeah, it's called the Pixel stand. It only charges one device at a time. It's made by Google. They make it for the phone specifically, but it works for the Pixel Buds and it works for anything that charges wirelessly.
Hey, this is Hershey. So, one quick reminder between brands, and like the Pixel stand works perfectly fine, and each phone comes with its max charging and all that other limitations and stuff. So, for example, on my S22 Ultra, I got the 45-watt charging brick, and that means in an hour my phone's charged, and I'm not worried about putting it on the pad or all the other fun stuff. But the pad has limitation in charging, so just like the old iOS chargers were like 5 watt, and we've all kind of moved forward to 15 watts as kind of the general consensus because of heat and all the other stuff. So any phone that you would put on a wireless pad, I think it's about 15 to 20 watts that it gives out. And so you could go through Anchor, you could go through Samsung, you could go through getting it through Google, but it's also dependent on the phone in a way, because like Samsung do have where you could put your watch and that, like they've kind of designed it that way, and maybe that their power output is a little bit more, right? So if you want to make sure that the power is matching the quick charge or what your expectations are as well. Nowadays with Anchor, they come up with these 110 watt chargers and they could do a whole bunch of stuff. And so for me, I think the new phones are getting better at wirelessly charging, but if you put headphones and watches, it is a little finicky. It's probably best to find a stand that maybe holds things better, so you're not always, fiddling with finding a wire or whatever. Everything's already plugged into this unit, and you just drop your watch onto the stand. You drop your phone into either a standing straight up stand, or you lay down horizontal at your office desk, whatnot. So I know Samsung has tons of them. It's just what devices are you particularly trying to charge? Pixel watches and devices have a different output sometimes, so just be cautious in that you're trying to get the most out of your time, essentially.
Okay. And have you ever had problems with charging through a case that's on your phone?
I have not had I have a old 5 or 10 watt wireless charger, and I use the OtterBox cases, and I have not had issues, but that charging stand is from 2011, 2014. It's old, so it's not the newest technology in that sense, right? So it sometimes gets finicky, but with these new phones being so big, it's most of the battery anyway, so
Okay.
it works for the most part.
Mm.
Again, there is some trial and errors. It's just the stand-up stands, like the Pixel stand, when it's standing up and down, it's leaning onto something. So you're always going to make sure that the phone has that thing behind it charging it. So
Okay.
And also remember, in any charging pad that you buy, it also lists what devices it works with. So just make sure you're reading on there and make sure your devices are listed.
Okay.
oh yeah, I would also suggest give us a question on the list. It was lovely to answer the questions. So write us on the list. Maybe if you have more questions about chargers, and maybe we could get some conversation going there.
Okay.
This is Jody.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious about something. I really don't know anything about Androids. So there's all these different companies that make Android phones. Do they all run the same operating system and operate the same way?
Anybody want to answer, Miss Jody?
It's Chris. They
Go ahead, Chris.
they do all run Android. There are different versions of Android. Some of your cheaper phones will use an older version of Android. Um, and you have to be careful of that because some of the new apps won't work um, because of the new security features that they've added in, like we were discussing earlier with the allow while using the app. Um, some apps won't work because they're going to look for that in the operating system and it's not there in the older ones. So as long as you're running Android 12, 13, or soon to be 14, you'll be fine, even 11. But the thing is, they're all going to have different little quirks. Like Samsung puts their own stuff in. The Google, they don't, they just, it's a straight Android. They don't, it's just Android because they're the ones that make it. Um, Samsung puts a little different things in. LG, well, they don't make phones anymore, but they did a little bit. Motorola, Sony, the Experian phones, they do. Their apps are just basically that's all it is. It's their own
Flavor.
Yeah, their own flavor. Exactly. They just put different apps and stuff on. Like on the Samsungs, you'll find a lot of duplicate apps. I love a Samsung phone, but the duplicate apps used to drive me crazy because I couldn't uninstall them. Like you had two browsers, you got two emails, you got two of this, two of that. Um, but basically, if you're blind, then it doesn't really matter because the different flavors that they do is how it basically it looks. That's what it is because Android is very customizable where you can't do things with iOS that you can do with Android because Android is it's an open operating system, so you can take the base system that's running on a Google Pixel personally, if you had the way to do it, and you could reprogram it and put it into another phone and have it completely customized with your name on it if you wanted to. You understand what I mean?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
And another one, I mean, between the brands and stuff, even customizations, it really just it depends on you at the end of the day. It's how you want to kind of take your journey with it. Screen reader users are typically better off with Pixel phones, just because they're making TalkBack. It's coming straight from the press, and it's first hand, first look, right? With Samsung, they're best at screens. They're better at contrast. They're better at larger fonts and stuff. So I would recommend, like for low vision users, Samsungs are far better. Not to say Pixels aren't. Pixels are getting there. The fonts getting bigger, larger. The screens are, are kind of the same screens. So they kind of carry over each other's strengths and weaknesses. But I would definitely say if you're trying to get into the Android ecosystem, the parent company would be Google. Why not go to the parent company? And it's coming fresh from the press. It's the milk is fresh from the farm kind of thing. So why not have that instead of go around and with Motorola and stuff, they're fine. They're cheaper phones, but that's the only thing it is. It's cheaper phones. And so 1 year or 2 years, the phone is not going to get updated. So let's say you had a Android 12, you're not going to get 13, or you're 13, you're not going to get 14. And you're again spending $200 on a new phone where you could have put a down payment. The other kind of flip to what iOS users could think of it as, think of the old SE or the old iPhone 6, right? We've kind of drawn a line, and maybe even the 7. Well, the 7 could use Seeing AI, it works fine, but you can't use LiDAR. So some of the features like recognize icons or reaction or whatever it's called, images in iOS, well, you can't use some of those features in an older phone, and some of it you can. So similarly on Android, it becomes, well, you have an A13 or A14 phone that Spectrum sells you. It works, but it's not as fast. It's not as uppity. And our screen readers, and when we get really going, everything gets bogged down. So it's always recommended. Why not go to the parent? That's why I keep saying Pixels. I have been using Samsung since 2012, 2011-ish. And for me, it's worked out because of my low vision. So again, giving feedback, letting us know questions, things to research, just let us know. We could try to help each other out. And if you
So
got anything?
Google makes Pixel then?
Yes, Google makes Pixels. Yep, that's their phone for Pixels. And then Samsung, of course, Samsung Motorola has their lineup, and they use Google Android, right? They still use the same type of operating system, where they call it the plain vanilla Android, or they would call it Google One Android. So some of those manufacturers were once upon a time bought by Google, and so they have an agreement that, hey, we're going to give you Android 12 or Android 13 when it's ready. So like right now, Android 14 went into beta. This is the first month of the beta. By 4 months from now, Android 14 will be released. Then that means then Motorola or Samsung will pick it up, and then they get to twirl around their fairy dust on it, and then put it out for their people, and then it goes on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Ava, sorry, I think you should talk more today. No, I'm sleepy. I'm tired.
Chris, another Android, another advantage of the Pixel is you get the updates right away.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, with like you said about the fairy dust, Samsung, Google will come up with an update every month, and they'll send it to Samsung, and then Samsung's got to, like you said, put their little fairy dust on it, and so Samsung is very, very slow to update compared to a Pixel phone. I've had both.
And slow and fast is subjectable, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah,
reason why is in modern day.
With this Pixel 6.
Well, modern day, I've seen 4 to 6 months of TalkBack updates. So again, to explain, TalkBack updates on its own, right? You don't have to worry about OS in that sense of updates. If TalkBack gets more features that help us with a screen reader, so be it. If the version of Android is like version 12 or 13, it's okay, because you're still going to get your feature sets with TalkBack. So just remember that they're separate cycles. Go ahead, Ava.
Oh no, we have been having a really good, interesting call tonight.
I was getting all sleepy. Today I've been show after show after show. So
yeah, well, we're on our last 5 minutes of the call. So I know we can take at least 2 more questions.
This is Richard.
Yes, Richard.
Go ahead, Richard.
I actually have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
One of them was with the TV and stuff. It didn't come up when we were talking about it then, but on my phone with the TV, movies, and shows, I've been trying to bring it up. I might be missing one little piece probably because I try to bring up a show, and any of the shows I want to try to watch that I want to see or watch, it says app is not installed. And I'm like, why are you saying app is not installed? I got like 3 to 4 of them that is on here. YouTube, Google TV app. I have the Tubi, and I have one that's blue. Oh, what I forgot what it was, blue something. But I got 2 of them here that is for TV and show movies, but it says app is not installed. App is not installed, and I'm
So,
like,
Mr. Richard, would it be okay if I gave you homework for next
okay.
time? So when you come by next time, use any of the recording feature that you find on your phone. So go through all your apps, find the recorder. If it's just audio recorder or what have you. And you mentioned you have more than one device, I believe. If you do, go ahead and record this and then send it to the mailing list and let us hear it, like so we could experience exactly what you're going through. So it could be more helpful to answer particularly what's breaking or what's causing something or another. And because I know we only have like a couple more minutes, I don't want to not dive into this, but if you wouldn't mind, send us a recording, and we could still keep looking into it.
This is Trey.
Go ahead, Trey.
I was going to say, Richard, I think just because you have an app installed doesn't mean the show is coming through that particular app. The apps that you kind of mentioned, they're very specific to what they show. So even in other areas, when you have an app, it may take you to some other app that says this show is available on that app. I think that's what you're experiencing.
And it's apparently that every show or any of the shows that I want to see are not available on those apps because there's about 4 television apps. So I didn't know if I was missing like a part, like do I need to plug something into a TV, go out and buy like a little plug-in adapter that I know and stuff, which I don't have that. But if it's not available on those apps, then it's not available on those apps. The other issue I have had, and I don't understand what had happened with the Google messaging, like when I just say, hey, Google message, and then I say who to message and it does it. I was doing that on Sunday, and all of a sudden Monday, though, and throughout the rest of the week, it just doesn't allow me to do that anymore. It's not doing messaging. I can do everything else with Google, like, hey, Google, open this app, or hey, Google, call or dial. But when I say, hey, Google, message, it runs through the process like it is doing the messaging, but it will not. It even says message sent, but it wasn't. It hasn't been sent.
This is Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
So, 2 things. You might want to make sure that you go into your settings, go into apps, and go to the Messages app and to the Google Assistant app. You might just need to clear your data and just kind of let it restart. I don't know why they're not shaking hands right now, but usually a reset of the apps will help them interface better. I don't know what got.
I don't know what happened either, because I can get messages. I can receive messages. I just can't do, hey, Google message, and sent. Like I said, it will go through the process. It will even tell me it's sent, but yet it wasn't.
Yeah. Also clear the cache. This is Ava. Not only just clear the data, clear the cache and see if that helps, okay?
Do it in both of them. Go to Google, clear that one, and go to messaging too. Go to both.
Yes. Go to both.
And clear both. Okay.
Yes. All right, y'all. We're at 8:29, so we're at our time to wrap up. I want to say I really enjoyed this call. We've been having some really good calls for like the last 4 months now with a lot of information. So just remember, if you miss anything, please go back to ibugtoday.com, go to the iBug Android Insight tab, and you can find this show there as well as on YouTube as well. But also, don't forget, Friday night is the movie Brooklyn, and tomorrow night, Thursday night, is Trekkie Talk at 8 o'clock for both nights, and it's always on the same Zoom link. And our next meeting will be May 17th. So it'll be the third Wednesday. So Hershey, great working with you, everybody.
I wonder if Scotty's going to beam me up today. I don't know. Hopefully.
Hey, there you go. But I want to say thank you to everybody for participating, and please come back next month.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.